From San Diego, California, this is the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans, by the fans. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, Jason Eidsmoe, and Mike Maciejewski, we're talking Chargers, Padres, and Aztec sports. It's time to let your voice be heard. What's up, San Diego Sports Junkies? Man, it is great to be back.
Yes, sir.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's 2 weeks in Hawaii. I really didn't want to come back. But now that I'm here, it feels good to be back.
Yes, sir. We're glad to have you back.
You were gone?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
We didn't even notice you.
Let me tell you, we really, really enjoyed giving you a hard time when you were not here to defend yourself. It was a lot of fun.
It's like throwing jabs at somebody, and you just don't have to worry about getting a black eye yourself.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like we were Germany and you were Brazil.
Oh!
Yahtzee.
Oh, man.
Got you
I guess
there.
I got fucked right there, didn't I?
That was
sure
a
did.
jab. to the gut.
I want to give a shout-out to Darren Anderson for filling in. I'm kind of bummed I was not here and present when he was here because I've been begging him for probably 2 years now to come on the show in one shape or form. But, Darren, thank you for bringing your heavily weighted opinions onto the show.
All it took was for you to leave the state for Darren to come,
Right?
come join us on the show.
No,
Right?
Darren was a great contributor. We thank him for that.
So we got a pretty good show lined up for you guys today. We're going to be talking a little Tyson Ross being elected to the All-Star game. We're going to be talking some other Padres news, GM search and whatnot, World Cup soccer. We're going to talk about an article that Mikey put together with Zylan Cheatham and little Chargers training camp information and news and notes. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back talking some Padres baseball.
Last day of the rest of my life, I wish I would've known cause I didn't kiss my mama goodbye. I didn't tell her that I loved her, how much I cared. I thank my pops for all the talks and all the wisdom he shared. Unaware, I just did what I always do. Every day the same routine before I skate off to school. But who knew?
What's up, you sports freaks of the West Coast? This is your Fantasy Corner of San Diego Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and I want to challenge you to win your fantasy football season this year. So tune in weekly, starting in August, for some preseason sleepers, draft day steals and busts, some new draft value on the usual suspects, and my personal mock draft strategy that's going to carry you through your season and leave your buddies crying in that draft room. So please, don't miss your chance to tune in weekly and add some of your fantasy football smack talk to your corner of San Diego Sports Junkies.com/fantasy. Get some.
You can't get me down. There's nothing like a clear peace of mind to overcome the hard times. Here's the stories they tell. She might act kind of proud but no respect for herself. She finds love in all the wrong places. The same situations, just different faces. Changed up her face since her daddy left her. Too bad he never told her she deserved much better. Johnny boy,
Hey, what's up, guys? We are back where we talk some Padres baseball. It's kind of funny. While I was leaving to Hawaii, the Padres go on a little three-game winning streak. And on my way back from Hawaii, they go on a 5-game winning streak.
Should leave more often.
Then I come home and they lose,
Shit the bed.
2 to Colorado. But they've been playing better of late.
Right.
Obviously, it's still a lot to be said that we're a playoff contender. However, there's some pieces that are starting to, on the mend, on their way back in. Like Jerko, for instance. The one thing, and maybe you guys can fill me in, that I hadn't heard about is
Yonder Alonso?
Well, Yonder Alonso, but our starting pitcher. Why am I throwing a blank right now?
Oh, Andrew Kashner.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well, they shut him down again because of his elbow and his arm, for that matter. It was just precautionary. They're trying to make sure he's fully healthy. They think something might be wrong, but they want to try another go. And I think if this is what I've heard. I don't know for sure, but I know the arm injury and just being very cautious with him.
Yeah, they're being extra cautious with him. He, he's had a history of injury problems throughout his whole career. He had a nice little streak there with us last year and this year for a little while.
Right.
But now those injuries are starting to crop up again. And of course, we don't want anything major, losing him for 2 years.
Yeah, and there's rumblings. It's like, well, do we put Andrew Kashner back in the bullpen? Is he only suited for a good 1 to 2 innings? Do we preserve the longevity of his career?
Where is he more valuable, in the
course.
bullpen or in the starting rotation?
The problem
we
is,
don't know
though, remember when we first got him, he pitched out of the bullpen, and he really wasn't very effective. He had some issues. He didn't really become really effective until he was a starter.
Right.
That's when he started pitching really well for us.
Right.
I wonder now, because one thing that did make him effective when he became a starter is that slider. If you have that combination between that slider and coming in out of the bullpen at 100 miles an hour,
Right.
because he tunes it back when he's a starter, but when he's coming in a relief role, he can hit that 100, 101 mile an hour fastball. Then you throw that slider in there, it would make him pretty devastating.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, I was looking up his contract situation. I believe he's on his last year of his deal. I'm not sure. So
Yeah, well, I think it's an option for another. So
Okay.
yeah, it's the
So-
final year and an option.
So it's a tough choice for the Padres.
Of course.
Already got some rumbling from Darren in the chat room.
Doesn't surprise me.
Rumblings,
He
huh?
says they've been extra cautious with Kashner for 5 years, both our team and his.
Hey, how's Samardzija looking? Oh wait.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, whoops. Sorry,
wow.
dude. Whoa.
I guarantee
He pitched a really
I
good
guarantee
game for the A's the other day.
Jason probably heard a lot of that the last day or so.
The thing is, this isn't Cubs talk or anything, but Darren was a little bit bummed because the
What a
Cubs
trade
actually had
that
been
was.
playing. The Cubs had actually been playing pretty well, and then they traded their top 2 pitchers, and they haven't won since. So as a Cubs fan, I'm not a Cubs fan, so I could care less. But for the Cubs fans, that's got to be a little bit disheartening, knowing that you've had all these years where you kind of have been struggling to watch them, and then they finally look like they're showing just a slight bit of life,
A smidgen.
and they get rid of their 2 best pitchers.
And I will say, I remember when Darren was here, and Darren would know Kashner better than us. He was a Cubs. He is a Cubs fan, and it was really disconcerting to hear that he's experienced those injuries with Kashner already, and so it's one of those things. We take those risks on guys that really we don't need to take, especially on pitchers. And
Well, that's
The
the whole
upside of Kashner is what's enticing, though.
Of course, and when you were alluding to the fact earlier, I wanted to bring up earlier in his career, he came in kind of wet behind the ears. He wasn't locating fastballs like he is now. He's gained a lot of confidence since his first couple years with the Padres.
In his abilities.
Yeah, of course. Darren Balsley worked closely, obviously. But if you remember, he wouldn't locate his fastball. And he could throw it 100 miles an hour, but if you can't locate it, you're not going to do anything.
Right.
And once he gained confidence and they threw him in the starter role, things started clicking for him. He added a little slider to the mix, and that's what kind of propelled him. So.
Right. And I can totally see where Darren's coming from. I mean, it's just like if they took, Tyson Ross and Ian Kennedy and shipped them off in a trade for some minor leaguers. I mean, that's got to be tough as a fan.
Right.
The difference, though, is the Cubs actually have some talent coming up through the farm system, in their positions.
Yes.
They have I think there's 6 or 7 different guys in the minors that they actually value as,
They're in like
as
the top 100
major league
prospects,
starters.
yeah.
Padres don't have that.
They have a
the
couple,
Padres have a bunch of pitching like we've had for a few years, but the problem is, like I had said last week, we won 4 in a row, and the only reason we won them is because our pitchers pitched lights out.
Right.
It's not because all of a sudden we started hitting. We did score 8 runs in one game, I think, but
Right.
we were win 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. Tyson Ross yesterday pitched outstanding.
Stupid.
He
2
gave
runs.
up a 2-run home run, which was actually a pretty good pitch. It just happened, and that was it.
Well, that guy golfed it too.
He made the devastating move of giving up 2 runs, and that cost him the game.
Insurmountable odds, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and as we're alluding, like we were saying, half of our guys are all potential, and that's the problem. At least half the roster.
Unfulfilled potential.
Yeah, we got them as potential, and I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
it's all hopes
frustrating.
and dreams with our guys.
We're kind of, I was talking to a guy at work today, and he said, "Hey, you're doing your show tonight. You guys going to talk Padres?" And I said, Yeah, but I don't know what. I mean, what else can we say?
It's hard
Right.
to talk about. I
What else
mean,
we can say? We can't talk, Tyson Ross.
Well, Tyson Ross is one person we could definitely talk about. He will be now representing the Padres at the All-Star game.
awesome.
Obviously, it's well-deserving. I kind of mentioned a few shows before I left that is it argument point that Tyson Ross is our true number one over Ian Kennedy or
Right.
Cashner. And I even if you remember, like spring training, we were talking about the rotation and everything, and I thought that Tyson Ross would be a contender for that number one role.
Yeah, and I think the term for the Padre pitching staff is pitcher by committee, and you only use that really by football terms. But really, in a sense, any given night, Cashner, Ian Kennedy, Tyson Ross, Robbie Erlin when he gets healthy, those kinds of guys can go out there and pitch a gym. They really can. I'm not a fan of. I listened to some of the game today when Stoltze's pitching. I respect Stoltz. I just don't like his lollipop throws. And especially in Colorado, they should just sit him down for that series.
No.
And they'll fly out of there. I mean, you hit a pop fly there, a deep pop fly, and it's probably going to go out.
Wait.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Let me hear something. You said that Stoltz. You respect Stoltz because the text message says Stoltz blows.
Yeah. That point in time, dude, I just turn on the game and I hear, 2-run bomb off a curveball, and I go, stop throwing it in there like it's a men's softball league, beer league.
They actually gave up 2 solo dingers in that first inning.
I can't stand him anymore. I'm over the Stoltz experiment. I think he's a great veteran.
Well, first of all, I want to mention it's been pointed out in the chat room that I sound like shit. I realize that. I'm not feeling very good.
I sound like I got kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, no,
It's
my balls are dropping. I'm becoming a man.
I'm 40. I'm a man.
I am a man.
time.
I'm 40, but it took a while for my voice to change.
That's awesome.
But the problem isn't pitching. We got to stop saying we need to do this with our rotation. We need to take this guy out. We need to.
I know. We're
The
sitting here
problem's
bitching
not
about the
pitching.
pitching. I know.
We need to score some fucking runs, and we're not doing it. It's disgusting. We see guys, lead off double get stranded.
Right.
On third base with no outs get stranded.
Yeah.
We're seeing games where we're only getting 3-4 hits a game. It's really,
It's pathetic.
really bad.
It's pathetic. And like you said, Tyson Ross only gives up a fucking 2-run dinger, and I'm supposed to sit there as a Padre fan and go, oh, great, here we go. I mean, it's every other night this happens, guys. And
Yeah.
It's
So-
old. It gets old.
Back to the All-Star game and Tyson Ross. He actually has a start on Sunday, so chances are he's probably not even going to pitch in the All-Star game.
I actually think there's a rule now that if you pitch on Sunday, you don't pitch in the All-Star game.
Right. Well, they actually give the player the option to say yes or no he wants to pitch in the All-Star game. Because you got to think most of the pitchers that come in anyways, they only pitch an inning. Maybe sometimes only a batter. But what I want to get into as far as Tyson Ross or our All-Star representative, was Houston Street or Seth Smith a snub for the All-Star game coming from our roster? Granted, we probably should only send one because we're not that great of a team. But were either of them snubbed in this respect?
Well, let me ask you this. I do understand that we're not contending right now. I definitely think Seth Smith is by far the best hitter on our team, but he's not playing at an all-star level. He's playing at a San Diego all-star level, but he's not playing at an all-star level.
Right.
How could, the voting was done before Houston Street blew that save. How did he not make the all-star game?
Mind-blowing. Do you see his numbers?
He had given up, at that point, I think 3 runs all year, and he was...
His ERA
His
was
ERA was
1.2 or 1.3, and the next guy closest to him had a 3.1 or something.
Was it
like
just that people looked at it and said, well, those saves don't matter because they're
Well,
10 games below 500?
No, I think it goes more along the lines nowadays. Managers call managers. So St. Louis Cardinals, Mike Matheny calls Bud Black, hey, we're probably going to add another starting pitcher. Who is your starting pitcher that you would love to have the Padres represent? It's not about closers. But for me, in the All-Star game, what I heard a good point brought up on the radio a couple days ago. Why don't you only stock like 4 starting pitchers, and then just
All
arrest
closers.
closers
I heard
and
that
bring them
too.
in 6, 7, 8, and 9 and
Right.
close the damn door?
Well, the other theory I heard on the radio is that
That's the way it's going to be, right?
If it's all about winning.
Yeah, if it's slotted like that,
Right.
why not do it that way?
the other theory I heard is with Matheny calling Bud Black and asking him his opinion of who should represent the Padres in the All-Star game. The other theory is that they really believe that Houston Street's going to get traded, and why would you want your only representative of your team to be represented under somebody else's jersey because it gets traded before the All-Star game?
I'm just wondering if maybe they looked at it and they said, well, the Padres are playing poorly. They're 10 games below 500. They're going to get one All-Star. That's just all they're going to get. So who should it be?
Well, I wanted to maybe ask Darren in the chat room, like, so which jersey does Samardzija put on?
Yeah, he's like, how many times are you going to bang him about that?
I'm just saying.
But-
like, I don't
but
know. Like,
this
I
is-
heard that on the radio. There, he gets traded as an All-Star of the Cubs. Now,
Right.
what is he supposed to do? That's a completely different
And
league.
and that's
Right.
that's exactly what I'm going with the Houston Street situation.
crazy-
Did Bud Black pick Tyson Ross, which is well deserving?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but did he pick it because in the meetings behind closed doors they've already talked about moving Houston Street and they don't want to lose their only
It's very
representative?
possible.
yeah, well,
It's very
Oh,
possible.
and the way I'm looking at it is
Yeah,
Pat Neshek was selected, and I know
yeah,
actually,
didn't he used to pitch for the Padres?
but you know he's
Neshek.
he's the closer for Miami, and they already have a representative in Giancarlo Stanton. So I don't know why he's in
oh,
there.
yeah.
And I
Good
mean
call.
that was a guy that I was like, well, why is this guy here? Houston Street's definitely better.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And Houston Street should be there.
Darren, actually, in the chat room, real quickly, he actually did said, and I had forgot he had mentioned this before. He said, I bet my nuts that Street still goes because of the pitchers that they're going to have to replace Tyson Ross. They're going to have to replace. Josh is holding up 3 fingers. That means either we have
There's 3 starters.
3 minutes left, or
No,
there's
there's 3
Wrap
there's
it up,
3
guys.
starters that are supposed to pitch on Sunday. So they said they're going to have to replace those pitchers with 3 other
By the
representatives.
way, really quick, let me just say, I'm sorry, Pat Neshek's on the Cardinals, not the
Okay.
Marlins, but
Well, good.
they already have a representative anyways.
You know what I'm mad about? Not to change tone real quick, but the whole home run derby thing. Why isn't Giancarlo Stanton in the home run derby? That guy can hit a ball.
But it wasn't his choice.
He's not.
No, it's like they pick these captains, and then the captains select.
Can I ask you this? Who gives a fuck about the home run
I
derby?
know, but I like to see. I like to tune in a little bit. I do take interest in it, just
Okay.
a tad.
So
I
you
know.
give a fuck about
I
home run
mute
I
the
do,
TV
yeah.
because I hate Chris Berman going back. God.
Right.
Yeah, I hate that. But other than that, I do like the mantra of the home run derby. It gets a little tiresome at times.
Darren says he is in it, or Darren in the chat room says he is in it.
That's what I thought too. I thought
Giancarlo Stanton, I thought he was out of it.
No, I heard on ESPN that he was in it. They were talking about him and Puig and
Well, there was a
So-
big bat that
so
they
then-
left out because he didn't want to. He said he didn't want to ruin
So then
his swing.
Justin says, never mind.
Yeah, I guess
Casey
not.
fan. What? What
Well,
is-
then I apologize. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. But there is one
was
big
a bat. I did remember them
Yeah.
talking about a guy who was. I heard it on Mike and Mike this morning. I can't remember who it was.
It's still the
but
process.
they said that he didn't want to tire himself out by entering it, and they compared it to the slam dunk contest, and they kind of argued
Oh,
back
stop.
and forth
well,
on that.
and
but
it was also to the effect that it would change his swing. Also, when you hit
It was-
home runs, more of an uppercut swing.
It was Trout, by the way, according to Darren.
Mike Trout?
Okay,
Trout.
perfect.
But
Why isn't Mike Trout in the home run derby?
well, because you can't force somebody.
Well, you
to be in.
remember?
He doesn't
Do you
wanna be
remember
in.
back in the day? It used to be Bonds, McGuire, McGriff.
Used to be all the big home
Sandy
run powers.
Sosa,
Griffey, Jr.
Andres Galarraga. You'd go, dude. This is going to be a badass home run derby.
Right.
Where's all the big boys? Like, show
It's-
your muscle, dude. I hate that.
It's like you got Stanton and Puig out there, and then all of a sudden you got Alexi Amarista coming to the plate.
yeah, I know, right?
No, but I
Exactly,
agree.
yeah.
You should have your biggest boppers.
Yes.
They shouldn't have
a choice. Well, I mean,
You're the biggest boppers. You should be in it,
Well, that's-
unless you're injured.
and that's what happened because of Bobby Abreu, correct? That was the guy who was like
Oh,
on a
didn't he
tear,
complain?
and then he went on.
Complain about
He won it, and then he was
strained his
garbage.
oblique or
Yeah.
something.
No, he was just garbage the rest of the
I
year.
remember
And
that.
so, yeah, we apologize, Darren, for the misinformation. This is not a local radio station. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's
sorry our
Sports Network.
sources aren't
Yeah.
so cool.
It's a bunch of fans
Yeah.
being fans.
But,
We're drinking beers right now.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but no, I agree with that. Like, I think they should be, and it's kind of funny hearing it from you guys because you guys have grown up more baseball fans than me. And that's the only thing I really watched growing up was the home run derby,
Right.
and now I'm kind of like,
Right. I mean, it used to be an event, a big event in my mind, because my favorite player was King Griffey Jr. His swing was so pretty and awesome. It was amazing to watch Griffey take a swing, and that's what I tuned in for, the big bat. So yeah, it's very disappointing that some of the guys don't want to participate.
Absolutely. I want to get into a little bit of the trade deadline, but we're going to take a quick break before we do that, talking about Padres GM Josh Burns being let go, his replacement, and possibilities of Padres trading or picking up some players at the trade deadline.
I hear we might have a lady GM they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about that in just a second. Are you looking for a bar for your next sporting event? Come to Cali Comfort Sports Bar in the heart of Spring Valley, where they are passionate about sticking to the true barbecue traditions. Using their unique low and slow method, you are guaranteed great barbecue no matter what you order. From pulled pork to tri-tip, football to MMA, Cali Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your sports and barbecue needs. Find them online, CaliComfortSD.com. All right, guys, we are back. As most of you know, Padres have fired GM Josh Burns, and they are expecting a replacement by July 31st, the non-waiver trade deadline. Her name is Deborah? Where did that come from?
I couldn't help it. I don't know. They're just talking like we were talking on break. They're interviewing a lady GM, a lady, yes.
Yes, a woman candidate
Right.
is a future interviewee, Kim Ing, I want to say.
Maybe it's Ronda
Senior
Rousey.
VP of Major League Baseball operations. In addition,
You know, I
Jason?
don't want to sound like a chauvinistic dick here, but
You probably will. You probably will.
they hired. Now, first of all, I think that there's no reason why a woman couldn't do as good or better of a job. What we need is we need someone who's gonna. We need a unique perspective and somebody coming at from a unique point of view, kind of like Billy Bean does up in Oakland, how he's able to take their payroll and make it work for them.
Right.
We need someone, but
Mold it.
How funny would it be to have a female GM and somebody like I need to discuss to get my contract extended, but this probably isn't a good week for that.
Yeah, right? Maybe it would be in a bitchy mood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So
kind of
wrong,
agree
yeah.
with that, but ultimately we need somebody that wants to win.
Well-
We need somebody that's passionate. We need somebody that wants to win,
And
ultimately.
she's my pick. Honestly, guys, from what I've heard for years, she's a great baseball mind. She's well deserving of the opportunity. And if she can take, which I think is the hardest job in baseball because there's no prospects, you have no pieces to trade. If she can turn this around, why not? But some of the names that I hear out there that you're going to bring up are some of the guys you just keep hearing about all the time, and we're just recycling.
Yeah.
I want to see something new, and like I said, I've heard for years.
Oh, don't worry. If you hire a girl GM, you'll hear something new.
Yeah.
You play ball like a girl.
Yeah, but here's the
Great.
thing, and
Great.
and I mean
Padres.
the way
The Madres.
the way I compare it to,
They would be the San Diego Madres.
but this is the way I can
Great.
think of it. I think the bitchiest, hardest working people are female lawyers because they want that respect, and I can see her coming in here fighting for that respect and just being a total badass.
I have no problem actually. I would have no problem them bringing the last few we brought in have not worked out.
Right.
So why don't we try and go a different direction? I
Sorry,
have
I'm
no
So
problem with that.
I'm not subscribing
Let me
to any
run
of that.
through some of these candidates really quick, and then I'll let you guys tell me which of these names stand out to you. First and foremost, A.J. Preller. He's the assistant GM of the Texas Rangers. They've also interviewed Mike Hazen, assistant GM of the Boston Red Sox. Billy Epler, assistant GM of the New York Yankees. Larry
yeah.
Beinfest,
That's what we need. Someone.
Beinfest.
Yeah.
former Marlins GM. Logan White, Dodgers VP of Amateur Scouting. And Ray Montgomery, Diamondback Scouting Director, in addition to Kim Ing, who they're going to be interviewing in the near future.
Now, is it
Any of these-
Kimming or Kimming?
Kimming.
Kimming?
Quit
Kimming.
kimming around.
No, she just
Hashtag Kimming.
It's like Ichiro, just one name.
Let's just
Kim
call her
Ing.
Ing.
Just call her Ing for short. So any of these
man.
names stand out to you guys?
AJ Preller stands out to me. Young baseball genius is what I've been hearing. One of these phenomenal on the scene, bursting onto the scene type of general managers. The guy, all he does is study film of minor league players. He loves to be intricate with hands-on, going scouting wise. He's just everywhere. From what I hear, this guy is one of the leading candidates. Brings a different type of attitude to an office place is what the Texas Rangers have described. Just so knowledgeable about baseball. He always points out the minute details of different players, and I know that's the same old story in song and dance.
Right.
But from what you hear, and it's just a few interviews from guys, very respectable. One guy compared him to like a Tom Telesco type, very even-keeled, business manner, respectful. He gets the job done. This is his passion. So one of the guys that I'm looking for, just to maybe see if he gets to be top 3 candidate.
Right.
I'd like to see some new blood. That's what I want. Some new blood. I don't want to see some old,
He's
guy.
not old. He's young.
And by looking at these guys that have been interviewed so far, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees,
that's what I'm tired
Dodgers,
of. Red Sox,
these are all big market areas,
Right.
and we're not a big market team. We need somebody that, like a Billy Bean, that's been in a small market and been successful.
There's no other Billy Bean, though.
I'm just saying, we need somebody of that caliber, or somebody who's young and enthusiastic,
Yeah.
like you're saying, from Texas.
Right. Who's under Billy Bean? I'd like that guy. He's soaking up knowledge left and right, right?
I think Kim Ng is under Billy Bean.
What?
Or maybe she's on top of him.
Oh, San Diego Padres.
And I will say this is the second time Ing does interview the Padres. She interviewed in 2009 to the job that went to Jed Hoyer. So, yeah.
This is retarded.
Well, since they were interviewed her, they've hired 2, and neither one of them worked out.
Right.
So maybe
Jed
give her a
Hoyer,
shot.
I like him, but I don't know. I'm like you said. I'm kind of sick of the Red Sox, retrofits, the Yankee retrofits.
When you said the one from the Red Sox, I said, really, we're going to go get another
Red Sox guy.
Red Sox. Now, the whole Josh Burns situation, I guess he left town. There was a little bit of bad blood.
Yeah. Well,
What?
yeah. Mike D and him had words exchanged over radio.
What was going on with that a little bit?
Well,
Now, they weren't on the radio at the same time.
No,
was it?
no,
It's
they
like-
were not. They were not having a full-on debate on the radio, which would have been classic.
That would
It
have
would
been
have been
great.
awesome.
Just about the views of the way the Padres should have been this year, and obviously the slow start didn't help anybody. Josh Burns got a lot of ridicule. So, from what Josh Burns had said, maybe he didn't like some of the things the Padres front office was throwing at him as far as money, and he pretty much said he didn't really get to do the things he would have liked to do.
I mean, in his opinion, they misrepresented how much money he would have to spend.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
kind of what he said?
And Mike D, on the other hand, goes, well, I mean, this is what you have. You told us at the beginning of the year this could be a contending baseball team for the playoffs. And Mike D pretty much said, that's what you told us, man. If you can't get the job done and you don't think we're going to win, then...
Yeah.
Obviously,
We're
let's
laughing
know
at
what's
the chat
going
room.
on in the chat room.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
He's Mike D, and he gets respect.
I'm Mike D, and we should have played the sound clip.
That's
Yeah.
from Darren. That would have been a great sound clip.
No, and it was pretty much boom. Yeah, no, it was pretty much to that extent. It was Mike D on the defensive saying, "Look, dude, you're paid to do a job. If you didn't think we could win and go to the playoffs this year, that's why you're not here anymore.
Right.
Go F yourself." So just the dialogue back and forth was classic to me. I
Whose
thought it
side
was
did you
funny.
take in that whole thing?
I like Josh Burns, like I was telling you earlier. I do like the guy. I think he made some questionable moves, obviously, but there's some good moves I did like. Mike D hasn't been here long enough for me to like him yet.
Right.
But he gets respect. I get that. He's from Miami. He's from the Miami Dolphins. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, well,
that franchise sucks.
Well, and I think he was with the Padres.
Well, he
years
was
back,
with
too.
Padres,
back in the heyday.
Dolphins,
Yeah.
Padres.
Right.
Yeah, so
regurgitated.
But for me, I still got to kind of get to like Mike D a little more. I don't, nowadays I
this.
get to know the front office a little
Mike
better.
D is in charge. Yeah. He did not like Josh Burns.
No.
So why not just move on?
Right.
Why not? I mean, I would rather he move on than try and ride it out and have 3 or 4 years of shit going bad. Might as well stop it now. Obviously we have some issues. He doesn't like whatever Josh Burns was doing. He wasn't really happy with it.
Right.
So I don't know. Josh Burns seemed like a nice guy, but I don't know.
So it's kind of GM by committee right now. We're coming up on the non-waiver trade deadline, July 31st. A lot of names being thrown around: Houston Street, Seth Smith, Chase Headley, Benoit, Angels are barking the loudest for Houston Street. Obviously, he's probably our biggest piece to move right now.
Yeah, they need him.
I was actually looking at their roster.
So do we.
I was looking at their roster.
I hate that. I hate that people say that team needs our player.
Fuck it, we don't need him.
Kidding me? I need him too.
No, but we can put Benoit in there.
No, we cannot. Did you see what today?
Yeah.
Bombs.
Yeah,
that's 1 out.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
Okay, and the Angels need him to actually do something this season.
You think the Angels would give us Trout for him?
Yeah, they'll give us some Trout. They'll give you in a bag.
What's up with the Angels retreading?
We'll take some
Padres.
Trout for Chase Headley.
What's up with the Angels retreading Padres? First it was Ernesto Frieri.
Didn't they trade him?
Got rid of him, and now they just brought in Joe Thatcher on a trade.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you guys doing? You want to raid our farm system? Or what?
That's
well,
funny.
I mean, arguably, when you have one of the best, relief corps year in and year out, everybody's going to want to.
You
dip
see a lot
into
of
that.
our guys recycled out like that because their value is so high.
Right. So as far as Houston Street, and like you were saying, I looked through their whole entire roster for the Angels, and I don't really see anybody that we can pick from them unless they have some pieces in the farm system that I'm not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
The Trumbo last year,
Yes.
that's now in Arizona. I would have loved to make a swap in package maybe a couple people with Street for Trumbo and boost our lineup. That was one of the questions too of any of these players. Can the Padres package something together to get that impact offensive player? Maybe to build around, not so much this year because we're halfway through the year. I'm not writing it off by any means, but somebody that we could build around over the next couple of years. Is there anybody out there that Padres could trade for?
I don't know offhand. I mean, you're talking some intricate stuff there because we don't know what a team's thinking in their return, to give to us. I think Chase Headley, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, will be gone sooner than later. I think that's the guy that's going to get moved, and I think rather quickly, whether it's before the All-Star break or after. I wouldn't. Now he's getting hot all of a sudden. He's like last 2 games. He's got. He's the hottest hitter in the month of July so far. He leads all of Major League Baseball in average and hits. So he's batting something like .565 right now. So now he's getting hot at the right time. Now his value's a little higher than it should be.
And
so
it's weird that you say that because I've read an article too, and they talked about he changed his grip. And this was the grip
Whatever
that
that
he's
means.
always been using. Like he's been a great hitter forever.
yeah, what is that?
But he changed his grip,
That's
and
what I
now that's
don't
why
get.
he started hitting.
So why don't you just keep with that grip?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Why change it?
That's like
The
using
Tiger Woods situation when they keep changing his swing.
Well, it's like using a different athletic supporter. Like, I'm not going to use that one. Why not? 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been using it my whole career. That sucks.
I'm trying to remember. Somebody just got DFA'd not too long ago, but Alfonso Soriano got DFA'd for the Yankees. Why not take a flyer on somebody like him?
I would say so if we were in a playoff run, which I think we're too far out right now to really consider somebody like that because he's not going to be somebody that you're going to have for the next 3 or 4 years. He would be a player you'd have this year, maybe next year, and
Yeah,
that's
but you
it.
might be able to get him for nothing. You might
It's
be able to
true.
get him for-
I mean,
It's got to be better than some of the guys that's sitting in our
exactly. That's what
lineup.
I'm thinking. And there's somebody else that got DFA just a day or two ago, and I just don't know who it was.
And Darren in the chat room says they don't have the talent to get impact prospects, and I totally agree with them. And even though Justin laughed, but Houston Street is the only person that someone's going to want. A contender. You need a contender that's going to want.
I didn't laugh at that.
You laughed at me, sir.
I didn't
laughed.
I didn't laugh.
You
I
laughed.
just think that.
Can we roll back the tape?
Yeah,
No,
next week.
I
Next
laughed.
week.
If I
Justin
did
won't let
laugh,
us anymore.
if it was, the only reason I would have laughed is because he is an integral part of our bullpen. He comes out and shuts the door.
Right.
Why do I want another team to have my guy?
Right.
And
But-
like when people make the phrase, he would be a great fit on that team. No, he wouldn't.
AJ Przinsky.
He looks great in a Padres uniform.
Okay, yeah, AJ Przinsky. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank
but,
you, Darren.
But,
Thank you, Darren.
but what I'm saying is, you have to have a guy that's valuable to someone else.
Of
Chase
course.
Headley's only valuable for some reason the Blue Jays,
Defensively.
for the Blue Jays, and somebody else who has injury issues. I mean, the Angels they traded Frieri, who sucked it up. They brought in Jason Grilli, who's still giving up runs. So obviously they're going to look for a closer, and we have the closer. They know that we're sellers. They want to be buyers. And I looked through some of their top prospects. They don't have any major impact prospects, but maybe someone on their roster that's young that might, you
they
know.
could hit over 200, maybe.
Yeah.
That's
what
all
I-
we need.
Yeah.
That's even what I was looking at when I was looking at their roster. Is there anybody that's hovering around 290 that they'd be willing to get rid of?
And that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Okay, so let's get rid of Houston Street for a guy that hits 240.
Right. Exactly. I know
We
what you're
don't-
saying.
You know, I can bring in a guy from the Houston Astros at way less of a cost
I
and
see
give
what
you
you're saying.
Houston Street.
Right.
You know
I
what
see
I
what you're
mean?
saying.
Like,
It's a tough sell right now because it's going to be tough to find someone who has or is willing to give up an actual prospect.
right,
you
and
know?
that's what Josh was telling me at the beginning of the show. He goes, well, why wouldn't you get rid of Houston Street? I go, I just don't think there's a team in a race
Right.
that's going to give up a middle-of-the-order
And
guy.
there's- what's the point of giving him up for a nothing? you know,
Exactly.
for a nothing.
Keep him on your
Keep
team.
him. I
Why
agree.
not? You know?
But
I
if you, can
agree
get
with
if you can get a stupid trade like the Reds did, a couple years ago when we got Yasmani Grandal,
Right.
and you get like 4 pieces for one. If somebody's going to give
That
us
was a stupid trade,
like
but
that,
it was a stupid trade on our point,
Look at
on
that,
our part, not
look
on
how
theirs.
It's looking for them now.
That sure worked out well for them.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's had some injury issues this year. He's only pitched in like 5 or 6
Did you
games.
see what he did last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you can get 5 or
We've
4
only got 5 or 6
pieces,
games worth of hits from the
Hey,
guys we got from him.
If we would have had Matt Latos this year, we wouldn't have to worry about Eric Stoltz. There's just, but
Yeah, because that's our problem pitching.
no, exactly. Well, I wouldn't have to complain about Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
That's what I should say.
Yeah.
So, as far as the trade deadline, let's play GM for a second. I'm going to ask you guys all, and you can let me know, buyer or seller, and who do you see on the move? Let's keep it to one individual. Jason, we'll start with you. Buyer or seller, and who do you see on the move?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a fan, and I'm not willing to throw in the towel yet.
Yeah.
I've saw that we can win a few games if we can just score some goddamn runs. We have the pitching. I say we're buyers. I say we do whatever we can
To get back in
get
it.
some sort of offense.
We have the best pitching staff in baseball,
Yeah.
people.
Get
Like,
some offense. So I say we should be buyers. However,
it's ridiculous.
if I did have to look who I think is what we're gonna do, I do think we're gonna sell. I think we're gonna get rid of a couple guys. I think that I do think that Houston Street is going to be gone. Benoit actually has some value because we have him for 2 years. The problem is I don't want to let him go. I think he's been pitching fantastic. I do think Houston Street's gone, but if I was a GM, by the way, I'm available. I'd be a buyer. I would do whatever I could to get a bat in here.
I'm definitely a seller, and the fact is that this roster and this farm system is completely fucked. It's devoid of hitters. We need those. I was going to go with Street, but I actually have a theory, and it's going to be Seth Smith. And I know he signed that contract last week, and it totally blew my mind, thinking, why would you overpay? And I know Darren mentioned in the chat room last week. And this is my hope that the Padres are thinking what I'm thinking. They're thinking, let's sign him to a contract so that we can shop him to another team. Say, you won't get him for just a season. You're going to get him at this price for the next 3 years. So, not a bad deal.
So let's trade the best hitter on our roster to get another hitter.
No, we're just going to get more prospects
Okay.
and hope. But again, we that's my hope that they re-sign him because that deal doesn't make sense. Like we talked about, he's just hitting well after a career of being a fourth outfielder. And I'm hoping the Padres said, let's sign him long term so we can shop him as a long term option to a team and get some prospects.
Prospects for next year or prospects for 2 or 3 years down the road?
Yeah,
It's got to be
exactly.
Major League
Exactly.
Baseball ready prospects.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
And-
why I'm a buyer.
And that point has been brought up in the chat room.
I'm
right
a
now. I don't know
buyer.
if you want to read that or not,
Yeah,
Mike. What is,
Darren said there's not much MLB ready offense available.
yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I totally understand that. But again, we've dug ourselves in a hole that, to me, I can't see the light at the end of the day, at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so deep that we have no prospects except pitching prospects, and with the way our guys are getting hurt, and some of these guys not going to come back like Josh Johnson, what are you going to do? You still need to bring out 5 guys. I mean, if we could say, yes, our 5th guy's going to be great, but, I mean, Hans looked great. He looks, Major League ready as a 4th, 5th starter.
Odie Despaigne is a beast.
Odie Despaigne. I mean, those two are back
They're
end
only
of
going to gain confidence, getting better.
I would much rather have either of those guys than Street right now. Far and away.
Yeah, but you
Either
have
of the guys you just read off.
both.
Connor
those
Despaigne?
are our guys.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying once we get Kashner back,
Right.
So you'd rather lose Street than those guys? Those guys, they're
Stoltz.
good. Yeah.
Did I say Street?
You said Street.
Stoltz.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Stoltz.
You
Oh.
confused.
That was-
You're
that's-
still on Hawaii time.
Yes,
That-
I am.
that's-
I'm sorry.
Josh has a Mai Tai in his hand right as we're speaking. I'm gonna be a buyer here. I'm in total agreement with Jason. You don't throw in the towel here. You don't. It's right before the All-Star break. You're in third place. Exactly. You don't throw it in yet. you built this team to compete, okay? Look what you got coming back. Alonso will be back. I'm not saying they're going to start raking the ball. They sure didn't before. But hopefully a little change of scenery gets them fired up.
Alonso,
Jed Jerko. Even though I like Falou, I think is a cool little prospect. That's cool. Brooks Conrad. That's kind of neat. I don't know. It just
These guys are all still batting like 180.
These
though.
guys are all still double A, triple A guys.
Yeah.
I understand. But we've got a lot coming back. Andrew Kashner's about to get healthy. Let's see where this thing goes. Can we hit the flipping ball? I mean, serious, guys. We get on a damn little streak like this. We're, 6 out of the last 9 now? So, okay, I can deal with that. Go into the All-Star break. Give me 2, 3 out of 4 against the fucking Dodgers.
You know what's funny?
And take it into the All-Star break.
You know what's funny is Chase Headley now has got his average up. I say this, but it's true, up to 230 now.
I know.
You know, it's like he's starting to actually get hot now, and
Yes.
I'm wondering if he's playing that game with us again.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Do something.
Darren's kind of here thinking, he's kind of on your side. He says the guys on the roster have to get better. That's about it. And he also mentioned that there is nobody to buy.
Yeah.
Who would you buy, and what would you give up for them? I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to have to
You're
give
right.
up something.
You're going to give up Houston
right.
Street for who?
Yeah.
2 AAA prospects and a cash and player to be named later.
Who are you going to buy, and what are you going to
Yeah.
give them? Tell me, who are you going to buy, and what are you going to give them?
If I would buy any player,
Sure. Yeah, anybody.
I'd get,
just any on anybody's
I
team.
Anybody's team. Just give me. Yeah. What would
I'd
you
get
give them?
Alfonso Soriano.
Mike
That's what I would
Trout for
do.
our starting 9.
Yeah, I know.
I'm serious. For the entire starting
They
9.
would. We'd have to give way more than that. For
And
Mike
then
Trout.
I would bring all our AAA
Yeah.
prospects up and build around Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Done deal.
I would bring somebody like Alfonso Soriano in. I mean, you can get him for probably nothing right now.
Well, like you said,
even
take a
bring
flyer. I
AJ
don't-
Przinsky over. Who cares?
Yeah.
Something. See if anybody gets
See if
hot.
Barry
you
Bonds
know?
is still on roids. Let's get him in here. I'm serious. He can knock some out
His
of
hat
pickup.
size shrunk 3 times. I don't know if he's doing
I
roids
know
anymore.
he's skinny now, man.
I'm kind of agreeing with Jason and Justin here. I would be a buyer, but it would have to be the right deal, like you guys are saying. I wouldn't want to break up our pitching staff. So
No.
whether
No way.
whether it's a few prospects that we can get a bat into the lineup, I would be okay with that. Like you said, Jerko coming back, Alonso coming back. And I only say that, and Darren's probably in disagreement, but I only say that because they're on career lows right now. Granted, Jerko is only their second year. He's in a sophomore year. But they're all, Venable, Headley, they're all having career lows in the first half. It's not going to happen in the second half. They're going to improve. It might not be dramatic like we saw Headley
No,
in
there are
2012.
300 hitters.
But
250 is
But they're
fine.
going to improve.
250
And
is fine.
One of the stats that I heard
Jeez.
recently is if the Padres could just go from 30th in runs to 29th, that alone would propel them like 6 spots in the standings.
Well,
As far
there
as
is
wild
not
card
6
standings.
Oh, okay, I was going to say we only have 5 teams in
Yeah.
the division.
Just the run production between 30 and 29.
Right.
Wow,
So, I don't know. To me, that's just you got to stay pat. You got to stick with your arguably one of the best pitching staffs.
I agree.
From top to bottom.
I totally agree with you,
baseball.
Josh.
And you got to plug in another player somehow, some way, and make a run at it.
I agree with
I
you.
don't think you throw in the towel yet.
Let's see 3 weeks after the All-Star break, see what happens.
We're going to take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we're going to actually be talking some Aztecs basketball. We're going to talk a little Chargers and some World Cup soccer.
What's up, you sports freaks of the West Coast? This is your fantasy corner of San Diego Sports Junkies. I'm your host, Steve-O, and I want to challenge you to win your fantasy football season this year. So tune in weekly, starting in August, for some preseason sleepers, draft day steals and busts, some new draft value on the usual suspects, and my personal mock draft strategy that's going to carry you through your season and leave your buddies crying in that draft room. So please, don't miss your chance to tune in weekly and add some of your fantasy football smack talk to your corner of San Diego Sports Junkies.com/fantasy. Get some.
You can't get me down. There's nothing like a clear peace of mind to overcome the hardships in life. Just sort out the wrong from the right. Someone's in line, but they can't get me down. I got my own self on my side.
All right, guys, welcome back. We're actually going to jump into some Chargers. We have some questions from Twitter that we want to talk about, and just want to.
What a fantastic song, by the way.
Oh, man, every time we score. I can't wait, man. I'm getting goosebumps.
I hope we hear this about 65 times this year.
No, more than that.
65 times in the first half.
Yes. I hear him way more than 65 times in the year.
So, like I said, we had some questions on Twitter today. We're asking people to tweet us, let us know what you're thinking. We're at San Diego SD _ sports junkies.
Yes, sir.
And we had a couple questions, so we want to do some round table, see what you guys think. Let me know what you're thinking.
Round table pizza.
Yeah. Our first question comes from, let me see, it's coming up. At the return of bad.
Raider hater.
The Raider
hater.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, by the way.
Yeah, welcome back, dude.
Yeah.
The ghost from Christmas past.
Is he in the chat room
present
today?
and future?
No, he's not.
He's not in the chat room today. Okay, we'll still shouting him out.
Yeah, and if we have any questions in the chat room, let us know. We'll answer them right here about the Chargers, and I see some Aztec questions for later.
Okay,
so we'll talk about that also. His question was, what new addition to the Chargers team will have the biggest impact in 2014? One name only, and why? Who wants to hit this one first?
I'll go first. For me, it's not an addition. It's Melvin Ingram, a healthy Melvin
Well,
Ingram.
then you're not answering the question.
Yeah, man.
No, come on. It is like an addition, though. Like, he was injured.
Yes.
A fully healthy Melvin Ingram from start to finish is a huge addition to this team. He might not have been a free agent pickup or anything, and nothing crazy, but for me, that's it. A solid, healthy linebacker core is key to this year.
Yes. Am I next? I'm going to say Jerry Atachu.
Ooh.
Atachu.
Bless
Bless you.
You took mine.
I'm going to say he's going to come in. He's going to be playing a lot of pass rushing downs. Not going to ask him to do too much. He's going to come in. He's going to be a beast rushing the quarterback. And, I'm not sure if we're going to see the double-digit sack numbers from him, but we're going to see quarterback pressures that are going to cause some trouble. There's a lot of stuff that D linemen and linebackers can do that don't show up in the stats, and I think that we're going to get a lot of that from him.
I don't think that Flowers, for instance, had a bad year. I know some people have been – there's been talk back and forth that this wasn't a great pickup, this was a great pickup. I think he's going to have a good year for multiple reasons. I think he has a lot to play for.
Yeah.
I think he's bitter over the Chiefs situation, and he gets to play him twice this year.
So much he's joined the same division, baby.
I think that he's going to have a huge year this year, and he's going to be improvement over what poor secondary that we have had over the last few years.
All right, and I'm going to go with Jason Verrett.
Okay.
I think playing opposite of Brendan Flowers is going to help a lot. He's going to face the number 2 receiver on each team, and I think the linebackers are going to create some pressure and let him make
and
make
let
plays.
The secondary
make
some plays.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Gosh.
So that was the first one. We had a question all the way from Ireland.
Ireland.
Yes.
Ireland.
How do you do the accent? Ireland?
Guys,
do
Not like that.
Do an Irish accent.
Can't.
I can't see that.
I can't do
Oh,
it.
Lucky Charms. Do the Lucky Charms commercial.
Do the luck of the charms. Do the luck of the Irish, you matey.
Hey, that's not bad, actually.
Do the luck of the Irish, okay?
This is from Padre K, at Padre K. And he says, what about Clarice? There's 2 parts, so let's do the first one. What about Clarice, to stay or go? What do you guys think?
I ultimately think he'll go. I think he won't be here.
I think he's going to go as well, and mainly because of our cap space. We only have like $94,000 in cap space before we hit the top here. So I think he's going to have to go to open up some more room because injuries are going to happen, things are going to happen. You're going to have to pick up another player. We don't have the money to do it right now.
Well, I like the fact that this continues our 25th week straight that we get to talk about Jeremy Clary.
We're on a good streak.
I actually think that he's going to stay, but
I wouldn't be mad if he did.
Right. I think that somehow they're going to redo that contract, but I like the fact that the Chargers are in no rush. There's no advantage to release him now. They can hold on to him all the way up until the 4th week of
training camp
or
preseason,
and let him go with the last cuts. It's not going to cost him anything different. So they have that going for them. They can see how Watt performs, how he does, and how Clary looks, and they can make the decision then. I think ultimately he's back though.
And then I'm going to go with he's going to stay. I've been agreeing with you for some time now, Jason. And in regards to the cap room, we could just cut Larry English.
Yeah.
He'll open up some cat room.
Yeah, he's going to have
Oh, he's still on the team?
He's still on the team.
Oh,
yeah.
well, shoot. I didn't have him on the team, so good. Yeah, he's got to go.
Also, the second question from Padre was, what will happen with our CBs?
We just kind of touched
now,
on that.
Now that Flowers and Verrett are our starters,
Yeah.
I think he's wanting to know the guys that did play in the starting role or the fill-in roles, what's going to happen with them? Are they going to make the team? Are they going to be in nickel dime formations?
I think, from my personal opinion, I think Jason Verrett plays a lot of nickel to start out the season. You get a Flowers and a Sharice Wright who's been there, done that.
That's who I think the starters are going to be.
And I think you line up Verrett with the fastest slot receiver, and you let him just man-on-man it. So I think that's how it's going to work out for that situation.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys are going to rotate in and out because you got Brandon G, who just brought in.
Because he's a G.
Yeah, he's a G. nothing but a G thing.
Nothing but a G thing, baby.
But you got Sharice Wright, Steve Williams, who are all, I know I'm looking forward to seeing. Jason Verrett, a lot of these guys that can be out there, and I think you're going to see a lot of rotation, especially early on.
Guys, also training camp is right around the corner. Bolts training camp. July 24th is when it starts up. It's a Thursday, 9:20 to 11:30 a.m. at Chargers Park. And the next big date is Fan Fest, August 2nd, Saturday, August 2nd. We are going to try our best to do something. Can't guarantee that we are going to do a show there, but we're going to, throw it around. We might end up doing something there for Fan Fest. That is August 2nd from 11 to 1 at Qualcomm Stadium. I know myself for sure will be there August 9th, which is a Saturday between 9:20 and 11:30 at Chargers Park, and it rounds up at August 12th, which is a Tuesday between 9:20 and 11:30.
Yeah, and sorry about that, to cut you off here. We had another question from the chat room.
Nice.
And this is from Justin Wills. Thanks,
Justin Wills, what's up, buddy?
He said, sorry, wrong button here. He said, Sorensen, next Phillip Rivers? What are our thoughts on Sorensen?
Oh, man, that's some high praise.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to really do some damage.
I'll start out because Justin, not you, Justin. And I see this a lot differently. I personally have not seen anything out of Brad Sorensen that tells me that he can be an NFL starter.
You obviously didn't watch preseason football last year.
I watched every single down. And I didn't.
With a blindfold?
I personally did not see anything from him that showed me that he could be an NFL quarterback. That doesn't mean he can't. I just didn't see it from him last year.
Did you watch it
I'm
with your beer
looking
goggles?
for I'm looking for a big jump from last year to this year from him to see if not, why are they holding on to him?
Absolutely. I think Sorensen is going to be Phillip Rivers' replacement. I think Mike McCoy, it was his first draft. It's the guy that he chose. They knew that Phillip Rivers is going to be around for a couple more years, so he has time to build and become that guy. I think Sorensen will be the predecessor to Senior Phillip Rivers.
I agree with all of that, what you just said. I'm a Brad Sorensen fan. I don't think he's a ready starter right now. I think he's one of those quarterbacks you groom to become a starter in the future, just like a la what?
Clipboard Jesus.
Clipboard? No. He didn't fare too well in Seattle, did he?
He's been groomed for like 8 or 9 years and making more money than most starters.
You can take your own your experience here in San Diego. Phillip Rivers got to watch behind Drew Brees, and not saying Drew Brees was a crazy all-star at the time, but he was good enough to sit back and watch from a veteran quarterback. So I think you take that lesson learned, and who wouldn't want to learn from Phillip Rivers? I think Sorensen has a big frame, great arm, good poise in the pocket. I think he can be a good quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I hate to this, but I'm really undecided. I haven't watched enough of Sorensen to say one way or another. Like I said, the little that I've seen was in college, and I wasn't overly impressed. If you're going to give him time to develop, there's a possibility. But like you said, there's a reason they're holding on to him for some. There's a reason for that, and I don't know what it is, but they know better than I do.
Guys, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to give you a little insight into Zylan Cheatham, the 3 questions article by our Mr. Mike Maciejewski. And then we're also going to be talking some World Cup soccer. Are you looking for a bar for your next sporting event? Come to Cali Comfort Sports Bar in the heart of Spring Valley, where they are passionate about sticking to the true barbecue traditions. Using their unique low and slow method, you are guaranteed great barbecue no matter what you order. From pulled pork to tri-tip, football to MMA, Cali Comfort is your one-stop shop for all your sports and barbecue needs. Find them online, CaliComfortSD.com.
Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight put it down for California,
All right, guys, welcome back. Now it's time for us to talk some Aztecs.
Aztecs!
And if you've been on our website, SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com, you've seen our newest article under our blog section. It's our 3-question series, and this time I was fortunate enough to catch up with incoming 4-star recruit Zylan Cheatham. It wasn't hard to get. It wasn't easy to get to him, but we got him.
Yeah, you worked on that for a long time.
Yeah, trying to get a hold of him was tough, but we got him to come to talk to me. And just a quick little synopsis of what happened. I got to ask him 3 questions like we have been doing with some former Aztecs recently.
Skylar Spencer?
No, Deshaun Stevenson.
Nate Burhay.
And Nat Burhay, yeah. And he, we asked him some questions about what he's been up to, why he chose San Diego State, what we can expect from him coming in. And to tell you the truth, guys, if you've seen him on Twitter or Instagram, he talks a lot, he interacts a lot, he's very social on social media. And his answers were so deep and so
thoughtful.
They're very thoughtful. And
They were
I was
thoughtful.
very surprised. And he was probably one of the easiest interviews and most pleasant interviews I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when I read it first, dude, first of all, you told me you got the interview, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's
Right.
sick, because you've been trying at that for a while, and to finally get that, and the way his answers came off, he sounds like a great young man, ready to just play some b-ball and do whatever it takes to get on the court, and that's totally a prototypical Steve Fisher type of dude.
Absolutely.
It really is. It couldn't be a better fit here at San Diego State for an awesome athlete like this.
Zylan, when we got him,
Man.
for the fact that, New Mexico especially was trying to get him so bad.
The hobos.
It was so great that we
Stole him
from
We pretty
him.
much pulled the rug out.
It didn't matter what they were going to do. He was coming to San Diego State.
Oh my God! They had a red carpet laid out for him. People were meeting him at the hotel. This kid, it's a high school player,
Right?
They had people with signs at
Like
his
he was
hotel.
LeBron James.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, this
Yeah.
is intense. The Aztecs are never going to bug you like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
It was just, I remember where I was at. I was actually in line to go watch Aztec football that day when he was announcing, and I couldn't see the video on my phone, and I saw, bam, Zylan
You were at
Cheatham.
that game too.
Yeah,
I was at that game.
Oh yeah, Zylan Cheatham chooses San Diego State, and I was like jumping up and down. There's old people behind me were like, "What's wrong with this guy?"
Yeah.
But
We got a recruit.
yeah, but I mean, it's funny because it seemed like he was going to go to New Mexico. Everybody thought he's going to go to New Mexico. He really, from what I heard, he told people he wasn't going to go to San Diego State because it was a logjam in his position. But I mean, a quick quote of what he said was that really stuck me in the article was he said, "I don't think we've scratched the surface of what this program can be,
Right.
and I'm excited to be part of that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh man!"
And
Goosebumps.
family oriented. Yeah.
Oh,
No, it
goosebumps.
definitely. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Can we get the basketball season already?
Oh,
Seriously, and
I want football and
Best
basketball.
part of the year.
86 more days to college basketball season.
86.
Yeah, I saw you tweet that, I think. Right?
That means it's only like 60 days to football season.
Yeah.
So I'm even more stoked.
And so I'm very excited about our Aztecs. And actually, Justin Wilson in the chat room had a great question. San Diego State Aztecs do better or worse than last season? Ooh,
I don't know. I think
three
they had
losses.
a pretty good season last year. I mean,
Considering-
arguably one of the best seasons
Right.
that this team has had.
Of
This
course.
organization.
What
has
a
had.
great run! Yes.
I'm going to say they take a small step back, but next year is going to be the big one.
I say they take a small step back in wins, but as far as NCAA tournament, I see them in the Elite Eight this year or better.
Wow.
I do. I think they're going to get awesome contribution from some young players that are really going to step up. The guard play is going to be the key this year. Who steps up as the point guard this season?
Now, are you counting less wins during the year and farther in the tournament because you think it's going to take them a while to kind of gel?
Exactly.
A little bit?
I just think the opponents this coming year. We got the Maui Invitational coming in. You're going to play Arizona again, I believe.
In the Maui.
And then we had a home and a home with Kansas.
Do we
Kansas
play
will be.
anybody
that one's
on
in
a-
2
on
years.
the-
That's next.
Is
year,
it? Okay,
next
so
year.
I'm
Do we play
mistaken.
anybody on the deck of a ship this year?
No,
No.
we don't.
Hopefully, we play somebody in like a helicopter.
So
or
we
something.
don't play
That'd be cool.
Kansas this year?
No, it's next year. Yeah, I know.
I'm
That
so
next year's
looking
going to be
forward
so
to that.
nuts, yeah.
Who's the big bopper we play this year? That Cincinnati.
We play Cincinnati at
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
That'll be big. That'll
Yeah.
be big because Cincinnati's always
We
good.
play Utah here at home.
Utah's
We
big.
got Utah coming in.
And hopefully you can round up some Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, and I think we're actually going to do better. We finished 31-5 last year.
Come on, man.
I
Really?
know, I
That's
know.
That's crazy.
But
to
isn't
even
it
say
crazy that the fact that I can
that's
say
your
it to you-
expectation.
I really think we can do better. I mean, like we talked about the schedule. There's no Kansas this year.
Yeah.
There's no, Maui Invitational, Arizona, but there's no.
It's that gelling that Jason was talking about.
Last year, that schedule was so. I mean, I thought we were going to lose. I thought we were going to lose to Creighton. I thought we were going to lose to Marquette. And, and we won those games. I thought I thought no, we were going to beat Kansas at Kansas, and we came back.
That was
Who's Doug
payday.
McDermott? Who?
Yeah, but I mean, this year, this team, like the schedule's a little bit easier this year. Next year's gonna be tough again, and I know the point guard play was an issue, but so was last year. Last year we said, how are we going to replace Franklin Tapley? 60% of our offense gone.
Teach me how to Tapley, man. And then that's it. And the next Thames comes on the scene.
Exactly. And I think this year
fills that role.
I think Winston Shepard's going to come on and Dwayne Poley.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say.
I think they have to come on.
Yes.
I think they have to for us to be successful.
Well, let's do one player around the table that you think's going to have a big year for the Aztecs, and you
I'll
don't have
first.
to go. You
I'll
don't
go
have-
first because I want to get out before any of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Pulley. I think Pulley's going to have a big year.
Okay.
I'm going to say Winston Shepard. This is his last year in the Mesa. I think he's going to
He's going to
this
shoot
year.
better this year, you think?
Oh, yeah. He just has to become a better shooter. He knows it.
Right.
I think this is his year, and I don't see him coming back. He's going to be an NBA prospect
Okay.
next year.
I think Skylar Spencer blocks the entire NCAA this season. He already broke last season's record. That kid is only getting better and better and better. He is going to be such a beast next year, and with him and Chol in the middle, absolute domination next season.
I think you're going to see a big emergence from Akil Quinn. I think he's going to step up. I feel when he
Can't
stepped
go
in, he stepped in big time
Yeah, he had
for
a
the
couple big
Aztecs.
runs.
From three, he was good at moving the ball around
And poised.
He just extremely
Very poised
he looked like he was 3 years into the league.
So you
already.
think he's going to step into that X Thames role?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think he's going to be
Why not?
the replacement for X Thames. I really do.
At worst, he's going to be the team leader.
Well, even if he doesn't score like X, can we all agree he can pass
Yes.
as well as anybody, and he protects the basketball. He doesn't turn it over.
Right.
So with that, you're going to have really good
And
foundation.
like I said, he's going to be that team leader. I feel like he's the one. He's the fun-loving guy. Everybody loves Akil Quinn on the team from what I've heard on social media. He's going to be that guy that's kind of like keeping that brotherhood together.
Okay.
Right. I totally agree. San Diego State is also in the news again, trademarking the "I believe that we will win" chant.
Trying to.
It's not official yet.
It's not official yet.
Did that start here in San Diego
I don't know.
State?
There's an article on the UT saying that it was official that they were trademarking the "I believe that we will win" chant. It was written today on UT San Diego.
Oh wow. Cool.
So that means they'll have the rights to putting in the print on any sort of clothing. Obviously, I don't know if it will keep people from actually doing that chant
you
during a
can't.
sporting event.
No,
but
that's freedom of speech.
For actual product, they have the rights to that chant.
Now, they did that with the USA World Cup Soccer this year.
Yes.
Did that start here at San Diego State? The first
No.
time I ever heard it was here. Where did that start?
No, it was like Navy.
Yeah, it started at the Naval
It was
Academy.
Naval, and then it went to
To
Utah State.
So
and
why isn't Navy saying, wait?
Because
why aren't we?
Navy's not that big of a they're a big football program, but they're not into the chants. Like they're not like a crazy college town.
Yeah.
They're just Navy.
and the guy from Navy who made it up took it to Utah State. I believe he was a grad student there.
Right.
But he didn't have the foresight to go ahead and trademark it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the funny thing about Utah State, we actually played them last year. And let me tell you something, their fans don't shy away from yelling and barking and screaming. That was a crazy house we played
It was.
in.
Yeah.
They could be perhaps one of the best venues in all the nation for college basketball.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the questions I want to ask is, can the show SDSU regain its form of just a
Yes.
few years ago?
I think it happens now
I
because
think it happens
of
now.
this, all
Yeah.
this attention drawn on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Who wants to be the best?
if you look at it back in 2011 with the Kawhi team, I mean, it was just, people waiting in line.
Ridiculous.
And then you thought the next year everybody came out and said, oh, this is going to be a down year. So people brought their expectations down.
Right.
And it wasn't.
No.
And then, every year it's been growing and growing. And like you said, I think this year people are going to come out. I believe season ticket renewal was 99% renewals. So thankfully I have mine.
So you're going to be calling us, right?
Yeah. And then I just feel like, it's funny because I don't know if you guys saw that Ziegler article from last year about Utah State being, loud and stuff.
And he kind of gave them a lot of credit.
And then they came out the next week and only like half the crowd was there. And that doesn't happen at San Diego
against
State.
New Mexico.
Yeah, against New Mexico. It's like, come on. At San Diego State, we go out there and we are loud. The show is loud for St. Catherine's as we're whooping them by 50.
Right.
So, I mean.
We're consistent.
Yeah.
And not just show up when it's a big game type of school.
And so that's, I think it's gonna keep building the excitement for this year with the class coming in.
Yeah.
It's gonna build with the students. I won't be surprised to see people camping out for tickets for Utah. And
I'd like to see Tim Shelton make another video to just get it back on track. I know he's got a lot of obligation, but that'd be so sweet, man.
That would be great.
He made some good videos. So, I mean, going into next season, if they can get the consistency, I think they pick it up with the chance.
Right.
And they want to make sure that they're the best in the entire nation.
Definitely.
I mean, that's something to prove.
Yeah. And we're going to turn our attention to World Cup. I know the U.S. has been out for some time. We talked about that last week. But the World Cup finals on Sunday, and the semifinals are over. Yesterday, Germany...
That was a good game.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, based on Pornhub.com, not to cut you off, but based on Pornhub.com, people uploading videos onto Pornhub.com says that, obviously Germany fucked Brazil.
Right.
And there's actually an article about it asking them to stop doing that because they keep uploading their images.
Can you please stop uploading Germany?
Pornhub.com? I've never heard of that.
They sell shoes.
It's on your computer screen, Jason.
No. Sorry. They sell shoes and scarves.
Here it is in my favorites.
Yeah, so...
Here it is under my favorites. Click.
Yeah, go ahead.
The funny thing about there's a few things that I really get into soccer around World Cup time. I become a really big fan during World Cup time, and I watch all the games, not just the USA games. And of course, the USA is out now, so I watch the other games. It is amazing the things that are acceptable within this sport that are not accepted in any other sport. Not just the actual outright faking of injuries, to get the calls, which would just be unacceptable in football and baseball. Unacceptable.
It was kind of that way in basketball for a little bit, the flopping,
but not like rolling around like you broke your leg. If
or you got shot in the leg.
But what about biting and
Well,
hitting people in the spine?
You know what's funny about the biting was the fact that the guy who bit him pretended like he was hurt, if you remember that.
Yeah.
That's what bothered me the most. The bite didn't bother me. Hey, man, sometimes you got to bite a guy. But it's
That's Mike Tyson.
It's the guy that did the biting, then flopped on the ground, rolling around like he was hurt. And
like
I
he
said,
bit his tongue.
That's what bothered me more about that. But it's not just that. It's did you see the fans yesterday when Brazil was losing?
Crying.
Outright crying and bawling. And I'm thinking, I get being the passionate fan. I get that. I watched the Chargers get their asses kicked in the Super Bowl. It was hard to watch, but I didn't cry. I got more like, are you fucking kidding me? Come
Pissed
on,
off.
more.
Pissed off emotional.
Let me tell you what would take for me to cry. It would be the Chargers winning the Super Bowl. That's what would make me cry. But it's not just the fans crying. It's the players. Yeah. The players lost, and they're fucking crying on the field, bawling like babies. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember when Elvis Gerback was the quarterback of the Chiefs. I'm 40, so I remember.
I know Elvis Gerback. Yeah, Elvis.
Do you remember that game where he was having such a bad year? They pulled him from the game, and we still don't know if it was a tear or sweat rolling down his face, and they caught it on camera, and he got destroyed for it. Absolutely destroyed. And he had to come out and say, I wasn't crying, that was sweat. And I'm thinking, they make such a big deal about that happening. You don't
in
ever
American
see that.
sports,
The players are fucking crying on the... How is that acceptable?
Right.
It's our media.
I think it's more acceptable nowadays. I mean, I see guys, after all that toll, but again, to put it in perspective, I have a little note here that I want to share with everybody. Now, a little background. First of all, obviously the game's in Brazil, so getting embarrassed at home.
7-1.
7-1. Which 7-1 you think, okay, great. I said on my local AYSO, but this is World Cup soccer. This is World Cup soccer. They did what 7 goals would equate to in other sports based on averages per team per game in the last 10 years. So 7 goals equals 14 NHL goals in hockey.
Do you ever remember an NHL game with somebody scoring 14 goals?
No.
I can't think of
I
it.
don't even know if I've seen double
Not
digits.
like probably in the
I've
the
seen
30s
like
or something.
9 or 8.
22 Major League Baseball runs.
Okay, that happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you'll see somebody
that's
get
a little- that's a little more
ass-kicking.
frequent.
That's
Yeah.
an ass.
That is
more
an
frequent as it happens maybe once every 10
Guy
years.
rounds the bases 22 times. You're like, I'm done with this game. I'm dizzy.
The NFL, 107 points.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a little stupid.
Yeah.
That's
ridiculous.
high school
And,
football
and the
stuff.
best one, the NBA, it would be equivalent of someone scoring 484 points in an NBA.
Wow.
So
Not
what is
even-
that like?
Not even in an all-star
Like,
game.
that's like a
they
team.
score
Yeah, a
that.
team scoring 484 points.
That's like they get the rebound, they turn around, they shoot it, and it goes
Yeah.
in.
That's
And it's like
video
3
game
points,
shit.
3 points, 3
That's
points,
video
3
That
points.
is video
stuff.
game
Yeah,
stuff. That's
so-
amazing.
So, I mean, knowing that, that's just, I can see that. And I don't know if you guys know, but Brazil and Argentina hate each other. And Argentina's going to be playing for the championship on Sunday in the Maracanã, which is like the big stadium in Brazil. It's like it's like your Yankee Stadium.
Right.
It's the Yankee Stadium of Brazil. And if Brazil loses, if Argentina wins that game,
oh man,
all hell
In
will
Brazil.
probably break loose.
Now Brazil is going to play against Holland for the third place game.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
What team shows up for Brazil? What do you think that they're going to come out and say?
What if they get beat 8-1?
We need to.
That would be awesome. Just do an encore performance.
we need to fix this and we need to show that we're
They better
better than
fix
that,
it
or are they
fast.
going to come out and not care? That
Well,
it's
yeah,
over?
it's really like it's not an important game, so it's going to be kind of like an all-star game where you're going to see a lot of goals. So if you're a betting person, take the over on the third place game.
Yeah.
And we already know Brazil's going to let in a lot of goals based on the defense they played.
Yeah.
That was
So-
phenomenal
Yeah,
defense.
oh
by the
my
way.
god, that was terrible.
Jeez.
So
I
yeah,
saw a bunch of there was memes all over the place about this game, but they showed Brazil's what's his name, Julio Cesar Chavez.
David Luz.
No, their goalie.
Oh yeah, Julio Cesar. Yes.
They called him. They had a title above him saying
The car dealer?
There's a car.
I know.
Yeah. They said boxer. They said best dodgeball player ever.
Oh man. Yeah.
Did you see the shot of the two guys in the goal when Germany was kicking it in? There was
Which
a goalie. Well, yeah. Well, one of them.
Yeah.
And the goalie's right there. He's ready for the ball. And there's another guy. He's in
Yeah.
there, too, waiting for the ball. And he goes right in between the two, and they're
Yep.
looking at each other like dumbfounded. Like, dude, you guys are idiots.
What a nightmare for the players. What a nightmare for the fans. Not enough to cry like a baby, but
No.
Right.
it.
You know.
The only other thing I could think of is maybe in Brazil you don't have as much to live for as we have in here.
Hey,
So
take their sports
so
serious.
when you're
I mean, I've felt like
yeah.
crying during Charger games. I really have. I mean,
but have you actually bawled?
I've probably shed a tear or two
Some girl
before.
committed suicide. I heard that somebody came in and told me
Where
that
did
today
this come from?
in Brazil. Some guy at my work said that he had read an article showing some girl, and they named her name, committed suicide after they lost. I'm like,
Because they uploaded her
Oh,
video
wow.
to Pornhub.com.
Oh, no.
Are you kidding? Over a thing, something that you had no control over. It's a soccer team playing.
Killed herself.
They lost, and she committed suicide.
Well, it's just like all the stuff you see, like
she has other issues. I
Right.
guess,
the Giants game or whatever, when they completely mutilated that Dodgers fan.
Oh, yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's
you see that
that's
all
kind
the
of
time. It's
alcohol,
ridiculous.
That's different, yeah.
but it's still unacceptable. I
Still,
agree,
it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazing how much people get. I'm a fanatic. I love.
Right.
It takes me a lot longer to get over a Chargers
It
loss
hurts.
than it takes
It
for the
hurts.
players.
It
to get
felt
over a
like I
Chargers
went
loss.
10 rounds with a guy.
But I'm never
after
ready
I'm-
to cry or. Go ahead.
Darren mentioned. I believe he's mentioned that the girl was 15 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong, Darren.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
But again, I think a lot of the part that you guys miss and the why it's so emotional is it's not just the World Cup. It's all the build-up. And I know Brazil didn't have to build up because they were automatically there. but it's the pressure, it's the build-up. I mean, you watch any game, and when a team's eliminated, you see them cry, you see players cry.
Well, one thing a guy at my work did say today is if the Chargers only got to play once every 4 years for the Super Bowl, you might be a little bit more upset when they lose. Now, not ready to kill myself or anything like that. But
you might be a little more emotionally invested.
So
in
maybe
that.
I don't know. It seems a little extreme.
Do you think they should do the World Cup more frequently than once every 4 years?
I think the build-up is just so much. I mean, there's just so many other things going on. I know you guys don't say the Olympics are every 2 years.
Yeah,
to qualify for that, and it just makes it such a big spectacle. There's other there's regional tournaments that are important, things like that.
Right.
So, and plus, it takes. Again, it takes the majesty out of it if you do ever. Closer.
They are. I was listening to the radio this week, and they had an executive from MLS on the radio, of course, because now's the time for MLS to say let's get on this wave of people watching soccer, and he was talking like it's a done deal. San Diego will be getting an expansion team for MLS, not within the next year or two, but maybe within the next 4 years.
Do you like MLS?
I do
Mikey?
like MLS. Yes,
I see you over there cringing like you have to go to the restroom.
I did. No. I just don't know Jason's house very well, so I don't know what's that.
So you did it in your suit?
Yeah.
I'd much rather you go in the bathroom.
You got your sliders on today? Or?
Yeah. No. I mean, MLS is great, and I mean, my first example watching MLS was I was in Seattle, and they actually they're very
the Sounders.
The Sounders. They're very the crowd is very passionate up there. I mean, they march from somewhere all the way together, singing songs and chanting and waving. Yes, the fans waving flags to the stadium together. It was great. It was like being in Europe.
Why can't San Diego be like that?
Well, here's the thing, though. I was talking to a guy at work. I said, if you were God and you had to choose, and you could say, I can put an MLS team in San Diego, an NHL team in San Diego, or NBA team in San Diego, what would you choose? Now, my choice was MLS, and the reason why is I already have a favorite hockey team. They're the Kings. Mm-hmm. So I already have something that I'm attached to. NBA, I like the Bulls, but I don't really care that much, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. MLS is the only sport you could bring a team to San Diego where you would actually draw from not San Diego. You would draw from Mexico. Mexico don't give two shits about basketball. Mexico don't give two shits about hockey.
Right.
Mexico cares about soccer. Mm-hmm. And we could draw fans from there. I think that we could actually be successful.
Can't the Cholos be an MLS team?
They can't. They're in the Mexican division. That was what I was going to say. Is the MLS had a chance to get that San Diego market, and now the Cholos have cornered it. And you
think they've cornered it, though?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of
team.
There's big Cholo fans.
There's tons of American Cholos that go across the border. I mean, try crossing back from the border after a game. I literally have to wait till about 1 o'clock in the morning to walk back across.
You've actually done that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
A couple times.
I commend you.
Yeah, thank you.
I shake your hand?
Thank you.
Thank
yeah. I know, but no. I mean, the MLS had that chance, but you want to draw that Mexican crowd that's going to fill up the stadium, and they're Cholo fans. So it's a little too late.
What if we name ours the San Diego Cholos?
You think they missed their opportunity
I
already,
think they did, yeah. I think that they could have. That was a great market, just ready to get plucked, and they just were doing the money grab and looking to see who would pay.
What about this San Diego Vatos? That would attract some people.
So
might bring some Oakland fans.
Yes, sir.
Back to USA really quick. Obviously, they're on the rise. Is it safe to say they're on the rise? The last couple of years or last couple World Cups, they've done fairly well.
Yes,
and
they've done the same,
leading up to that, they've done pretty well.
Right.
With the loss of Josie Altidore, what does that mean for? Let's say he was healthy. Where would USA have gone in the tournament? But what does that mean moving forward with him as well?
I think if he was healthy, they probably would have done way better. They might have been in Belgium. That side of the draw was pretty bad. The one thing that losing Altidore showed is that there's no one behind him. They had Aaron Johansson, who's not as physical, not as strong. They had Wondolowski, who missed that point-blank shot at the end of the game that could have stolen the victory for the U.S. against Belgium.
In a game where we were mostly outplayed.
Yeah, and they don't have those physical players that are playing top-notch. So they're going to have to develop one, and there's really not one that's coming up. So we have a lot of midfielders coming up.
You're thinking in the next 4 years, the same kind of team, mediocre?
Yeah, no, Altidore will be back. He'll be 28. I think he's 24 now, so he'll be...
Well, I mean, other than that.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't see it. I mean, hopefully...
bring back a 40-year-old Landon Donovan?
Yeah, no, Dempsey won't be back.
Yeah, no,
too old.
Eddie Johnson's your only shot. He's similar to him. He's actually... I was surprised he didn't make the team, but... you need to develop a striker.
It reminds me, I don't think it was the last World Cup. It might have been, but I think it was the World Cup before that. We had Brian McBride.
Oh, yeah.
And he was really good, but there was nothing else. It was
No.
him, and, I mean, that's the only guy that they had to worry about.
Right.
The U.S. soccer actually kind of has a lot of parallels to how Aztec basketball was for me last year.
Right.
They need more contributors offensively. They need more the defense. They just
You knew the defense is going to be
once
there. And they're
Altidore, we
compete.
had two guys, and then Altidore went out, and they just only had to worry about Clint
Well,
Dempsey.
what does
That's all
this
they had to
say?
worry about.
What does this say about the U.S. team that gives up 1 goal to Germany, but gives up 7 to Brazil? Gives up 7 to Germany.
Soccer math doesn't work like that, though. You can't.
It doesn't
you
have
know,
anything.
yeah,
You don't think at all? I mean, is that just saying the
I-
United States defense is pretty good?
No, well, I mean, the biggest thing was coming into the World Cup, the defense was the weak point. So that's why we played a lot of midfielders back.
Yeah.
But like I said, going back, I mean, you can't, like Jason said, you can't really just say, oh, we would have won 5-0.
So
but I
it
still
doesn't
think
work that
we
way.
could have beat Brazil. Don't get me, especially without Neymar, we could have beat Brazil. Two things. The big thing is we lost Charlie Davies, who was an up-and-coming star for striker for the U.S. Car accident about 3 years ago. Never been the same. I mean, him and Altidore would have been amazing. I mean, we could have made a serious run with those two guys. And in the chat room, Darren asked what happened to that Adu guy.
Yeah, Freddie Adu.
Freddie
right?
Adu, hype.
Didn't they sign him at like 15?
Yeah,
or
he
something?
signed at 15. I mean, the hype got to him. He actually has no team right now. He's actually trying out for AS Alkmaar in the Dutch Eredivisie, which
Make him
is
play for the Cholos.
what is the league. He couldn't get there. I mean,
What?
He's flamed out.
He's that bad?
Him?
You know, it's the hype. I mean,
Maybe he can bat third in the Padres.
he
Or
Was it a-
probably.
Was it just a guy that he reached his max at 15? He peaked at 15?
I
or do you
think
think he didn't work?
He had a lot. I don't know if he didn't put in work or what happened, but I mean, at 15, all you have to do is have to have good ball skill. There's a lot more to it. You have to be physical. You have to be, strong. I mean, even guys who are thin get tossed around. I mean, Josie Altidore is a man. I mean, he's huge. He's built.
So I do have a name I want to bring up, and it's just because when he came in, and I think it was against Belgium, I saw a lot of promise in him. Granted, they have him marked as a defender, is DeAndre Yedlin. What's the chances that he could transition into another role and become a goal scorer? Because he seemed to handle the ball really well. He seemed like he was really quick. What do you think?
He's a very exciting prospect. He's actually been linked to European clubs, namely AS Roma in Rome, Italy. Big club in the Italian league. He really can develop. He's, like you said, he's very quick. What you saw is exactly what what
It was
everybody else saw.
exciting.
Yeah.
It was exciting to see him out there.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys, you need defenders that can push up and attack. He's going to be that guy. He still needs to work on his defense, but he's only 20 years
So he's
old.
like the Allen Iverson of the soccer team. He'll come in and cross you over, put you on your ass, but you can't play like a D.
Yeah, I mean, he can play D, but I mean, not at that level. So he's
I
more of a
shouldn't
change of
say
pace
Allen
guy.
Iverson didn't play D.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's a name to watch out for. And like I said, he's only 20, so 24 in the next World Cup.
I have one quick question before we head out of here. Now that World Cup's about to end, what's the next? Since I'm kind of intrigued by soccer now a little bit,
Right.
Is it the European League starting up again? What's the next big league that's going to be starting up to watch?
Well, MLS is on right now. They took a break for the World Cup, but they're starting to start the games back up. Watching the playoffs will be good. But
what's a hot team in MLS? I mean,
the Sounders.
The
The
Sounders.
Sounders are hot. I mean,
and how many teams are in the MLS?
I want to say there's
Round figure, not to put you on the
20, I
spot.
think there's about 20.
Okay,
Okay, so
that's quite a bit.
Yeah. So
I think they would add like 4 teams in the next 4
yeah,
years.
so you're gonna have the
And
New York
playoff system works which way?
It's
How many teams? 8?
I believe it's. I want to say 4 and 4.
4 and 4, I
4 and
believe.
4, I believe.
So 8.
Yeah, 8 total, and it is you'll love this, the European playoff system, where it's a two-leg
excites me.
playoff. So you play one game at home,
Yeah.
one game away, and
Oh, that's
the
cool.
total score.
The total score, which sucks.
Yeah.
Because then it means goal differential matters. That means if you go down 1-0, you don't really want to try and get that goal back because you're afraid of giving up another goal.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's
You want to try the next game. Next game it matters.
This is why
The
I
first
can't
game
get
it
into
doesn't.
soccer, guys. You're giving
That
me all
bothers me. That
Yeah.
crap bothers me.
It's-
Goal differential is bad
Yeah,
for the sport.
so there's that one. The English Premier League's coming up in, I want to say, September.
Right.
If you're looking for a team, read up, pick one,
Okay.
cheer them
Yeah.
along. If you want,
Darren's got a team. I already forgot what it was.
yeah, Darren, let us know what team that was.
Yeah, he told
He
us
told
last
us, I
week.
know. I
forgot.
want to say Arsenal. Oh, Arsenal. It was Arsenal.
Was
He's gonna hate life. When
That's
the season
right. You
starts.
said he's going to hate life.
Yes.
I also wanted to get out a quick piece of Charger news before we
Oh,
go.
definitely.
It's not news. It's just it's a fan experience. If you guys wanted to do it, my buddy Tony Bourdin, he gets together a bunch of fans every year to go travel to one specific game. This year it's Monday Night Football, Phoenix, Arizona Cardinals. What a great place to go to. Wish I was going this year. I'm not, unfortunately. But if you are interested in going and meeting up with Charger fans from all over the place, go to facebook.com/Chargers fans going to Zona, all one. Chargers fans going to Zona, and you can get a lot more information there on hotels, restaurants, group meetups. He says this was probably going to be the biggest one he's ever participated in, and this is his third one. He's already been to New Orleans and Miami. So this is a biggie. So if you're a big fan, don't forget to go to facebook.com/Charger fans going to Zona to get all your information.
You can also go to San Diego Sports Junkies.com, go to our homepage, and Justin's actually posted some information up on there with the link over to that site. Mm-hmm. So if that's easier for you, San Diego Sports Junkies.com, click on the link on our homepage. Right. It'll take you over there and give you all the information. Also, guys, the Zylan Cheatham article, feel free to go on there. Man. It's an awesome read. We're going to try to, hopefully we're all going to try to plug in and get some more of these guys to write up these articles on it and keep it fresh and up to date. And if you guys want to write something as well, part of the blog, just go on there, sign up a member. It's free.
Easy.
You write the article. Within 24 hours, we'll have it posted up for you. So, guys, as always, it's great being back. I thank all of you guys.
Good to have you back. Congratulations.
The chat room.
Congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you.
It was a beautiful wedding. I saw your
pictures.
pictures.
Awesome.
You're so tan.
It was awesome.
Take your shirt off.
No.
Okay.
I have a horrible tan.
Actually, leave it on. Sorry about that. I got excited for a minute.
Put on another one.
Yeah. Put on a sweater, bro.
So, guys, as always, this is the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans.
By the fans.
We appreciate everything that you've put into it, questions, chat room. Go to our website, SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com, interact. Guys, we are out.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me.
Thank you for following the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans, by the fans. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, and Jason Eitzmo, we want you to subscribe to us on iTunes, follow us on Spreaker, and like us on Facebook. Also visit our website, SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com. This is brought to you by SK Digital Imaging and SDforlife.net. San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans, by the fans.